Tonight, breaking news as we come on. This major storm hitting right now, treacherous driving, and now tornado watches up. Snow and rain about to hit the Northeast. 125 million Americans on alert for the second winter storm and the third storm now right behind it. Tonight, dangerous driving already, snow, flooding, and possible tornadoes now. The storm stretching from the Midwest to the south right into the Northeast tonight. Lee Goldberg has the forecast. He'll time it all out. The breaking headline, President Trump on his 90-minute phone call with Vladimir Putin, talking about ending the war with Ukraine. The president then speaking with President Zelenskyy after. And when asked today if Russia and Ukraine are equals in this peace effort, President Trump said that's an interesting question. What the president said about the future of Ukraine. The images coming in, the U.S. military jet crashing, plunging into the water right near a neighborhood. The pilots rescued by boat. Tonight, the U.S. economy, the new report, inflation rising. Families paying more for groceries, used cars, medical bills. Tonight, President Trump, who promised lower prices on day one, blaming former President Biden and what's being done to bring the prices down. Tonight, the Senate confirming one of President Trump's most controversial nominees, Tulsi Gabbard, now sworn in tonight as Director of National Intelligence. And RFK Jr. crossing a major hurdle tonight on the eve of his confirmation vote. Tonight, the alarming scene, 20 children and adults sickened with carbon monoxide poisoning. 2 major train derailments, in one of them 19 cars jumping the tracks. Tonight here, why Mariah Carey, Cyndi Lauper, and Chubby Checker are all making news. And the winner of the Westminster Dog Show, right here.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening. We do begin tonight with this dangerous storm hitting right now, the second major storm this week, and now a third storm right behind it. 125 million Americans on alert for heavy snow and flash flooding now. There is also a tornado watch as we come on tonight. Multiple states in the south. Snow and ice pushing their way from Chicago to New York at this hour. Chicago getting the most snow of the season so far. Look at this tonight. Drivers struggling to stay on the roads. Virginia with a state of emergency in place at this hour. More than a foot of snow falling there in the last 24 hours. Hundreds of accidents now reported. Nearly 200,000 customers without power tonight. Heavy ice taking down power lines. Some of those lines you can see smoking when hitting the ice and snow on the ground. Lee Goldberg has the forecast where this hits tonight into tomorrow, and now this third storm right behind it. ABC's Alex Perez leading us off with the images already tonight.
Tonight, the second of 3 powerful cross-country storms is wreaking havoc in the Heartland. The biggest snowfall of the season so far for Chicago. North of the city and Lake County, traffic crawling on Interstate 94. Mail trucks stuck in drifts, cars littering ditches all over the place. Our Kansas City station, KMBC, out on snowy Interstate 70 before dawn.
Definitely a situation where you have to be very cautious.
The system set to slam the east just as millions are digging out from the last one. Overnight, white-knuckle driving around Baltimore. Multiple vehicles sliding on and off the road. D.C. digging out from half a foot. Drivers in Atlantic City dealing with a hidden danger.
The potholes you can't see when they're covered with snow, so that's what makes it a little bit more dangerous.
Virginia, with that state of emergency in place, hit hard. Huge trees crashing down onto homes. Nearly 200,000 losing power. State police reporting nearly 900 crashes and nearly 90 hurt. Thankfully, no fatalities.
And David, we're not in the clear just yet. Now, a third winter storm is expected to hit Friday night before the return of sub-zero temperatures. David?
Alex Perez in Chicago tonight. Alex, thank you. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Lee Goldberg from our New York station, WABC. Hi, Lee.
Hey, David, a dangerous situation unfolding across the South. We have tornado watches out from Louisiana to Mississippi and Alabama. Active tornado warning west of Hattiesburg. Places like Meridian and Monroeville all in line for this. The watch goes through this evening. To the north, it's a flood threat into Kentucky. Snow flying from Chicago to Detroit. Icing in the Blue Ridge where they saw a foot of snow yesterday. It'll be rain from D.C. to Philly, but a mix from New York to Boston that goes over to rain snow for northern New England. Out west, the third major storm of the week. It's coming on shore into California. There are flood watches out from San Francisco to L.A. The heavy rain will get into Southern California by tomorrow, up to 5 to 10 inches of rain. Obviously concerned about the mudslides potentially near the burn scars. We could have 5 to 10 inches of rain and maybe up to 8 feet of snow in the Sierra. This is the same storm that will cross the country and bring more snow and rain to the Midwest and Northeast by the weekend. David?
Another fast-moving storm. Lee Goldberg with us tonight. Lee, thank you. In the meantime, we turn now to the other major news this Wednesday night. President Trump revealing he had a 90-minute phone call with Vladimir Putin today, talking about ending the war with Ukraine. The president then speaking with President Zelenskyy after that call. And when President Trump was asked today if Russia and Ukraine are equals in this peace effort, President Trump said that's an interesting question. The president was also asked if Ukraine should have to give up territory to Russia. Here's our chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce, tonight.
President Trump on the phone today with Russian President Putin for 90 minutes, agreeing to start negotiations immediately to end the war in Ukraine. Trump choosing to talk with Putin first.
We had a great call, and it lasted for a long time, over an hour this morning. I also had with President Zelenskyy a very good call after that. And I think we're on the way to getting peace. I think President Putin wants peace, and President Zelenskyy wants peace, and I want peace.
The president agreeing to meet with Putin, saying their first sit-down could be in Saudi Arabia in the near future. But Trump also suggesting he may go to Russia and that Putin might come here.
I'll be dealing with President Putin largely on the phone, and we ultimately expect to meet. In fact, we expect that he'll come here and I'll go there and we're going to meet.
Trump saying the Ukrainian president would likely be involved in a second meeting. Zelenskyy posting this photo of their phone call today, saying together with the U.S. we are charting our next steps to stop Russian aggression and ensure a lasting, reliable peace. As President Trump said, let's get it done. Trump pressed if he would support the idea of Ukraine having to give up territory.
Well, he's going to have to do what he has to do, but, you know, his poll numbers aren't particularly great, to put it mildly.
And the president was asked if he views Ukraine as an equal in these talks.
Do you view Ukraine as an equal member of this peace process?
It's an interesting question. I think they have to make peace. Their people are being killed, and I think they have to make peace. I said that was not a good war to go into, and I think they have to make peace. That's what I think.
Before taking office, Trump long said he would end the war in 24 hours. And tonight, his new Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, standing at NATO headquarters on his first trip to Europe, announcing a dramatic shift in U.S. policy, saying it's simply not realistic to think Ukraine can regain all of the territory Russia has seized.
We must start by recognizing that returning to Ukraine's pre-2014 borders is an unrealistic objective.
It comes as overnight President Trump welcomed home Pennsylvania teacher Mark Fogel, back on U.S. soil after more than 3 years in Russian captivity, imprisoned for carrying a small amount of medically prescribed marijuana.
I feel like the luckiest man on earth right now.
In exchange, the U.S. releasing Russian cybercriminal Alexander Vinnik. We asked the White House if the teacher coming home and this push now to end the war, talking with Putin first, is all linked. The timing of that is hard to ignore. Was Ukraine discussed as part of this prisoner swap?
I can't comment on whether that came up or not. What I can say is that this was a very good deal for the United States of America and for the rest of the world.
Now, in addition to that American teacher, 3 more prisoners were released today from Belarus, including an American, though they have asked to remain anonymous. David.
Mary Bruce live at the White House again tonight. Mary, thank you. This evening, the images coming in, the U.S. military jet crashing, plunging into the San Diego Bay, nearly crashing into a neighborhood. The pilots then rescued by boat. Here's our chief national affairs correspondent, Matt Gutman.
Tonight, this is the moment a Navy jet falls out of the sky off the coast of California, narrowly missing a residential neighborhood, crashing into the San Diego Bay. Watch again as this video captures the jet barreling towards the water. Around 10:15 a.m., the Navy's sophisticated EA-18 Growler was close to landing at the naval base when the plane started to go down.
They advised that it did land in the water. There's Navy boats now searching the water.
Shift commander is requesting a dive team response.
Both pilots ejecting safely, the Coast Guard, the Navy, and Customs and Border Protection dispatching boats to look for the crew, but it was a local fishing vessel that rescued the pilots who were in the water for only about a minute.
You could hear it like when it went over the motel, and then it was kind of quiet, and then it kicked up again, and all of a sudden, just a few seconds later, I just saw the plane just go straight down into the water.
The two pilots transported to a local hospital for medical treatment. They're in stable condition, and the cause of the crash is now under investigation. The pilots making a split-second decision to eject from that aircraft just a short distance from a densely populated neighborhood.
If this aircraft had continued on even a second more, it could have hit Shelter Island or flown into a populated neighborhood in Point Loma. Very, very close to a tragedy.
Tonight, crews seen working to contain the debris field lining the crash site with those orange booms.
Anytime there's an aircraft accident like this, there is a little bit of a concern about the maritime environmental impact.
And David, we are told that the weather with poor visibility and rain at the time will certainly be a factor that's investigated. And aviation experts say they can't stress enough the importance of, had those pilots pulled that ejection just a fraction of a second later, that plane might have continued into that densely populated neighborhood, possibly causing a horrific tragedy. David.
Yeah, the timing of that was everything. Matt Gutman live in California. Thanks, Matt. Now to the U.S. economy tonight. The new report showing inflation rising in this country. Families paying more for groceries, used cars, and medical bills. President Trump tonight blaming President Biden. These new numbers show this inflation challenge will be front and center for this president, too. Here's our chief economics correspondent, Rebecca Jarvis.
Tonight, inflation going up. American families spending more at the grocery store.
It's so expensive.
It comes after President Trump campaigned on lowering prices and ending inflation on day one.
Starting on day one, we will end inflation. We will end inflation and we will make America affordable again.
Today, the president blaming January's inflation on his predecessor, writing, Biden inflation up. The new rate, now 3%, shows lowering prices won't be an easy task. Americans are paying more for food, energy, medical bills, car insurance, and repairs.
Food and gas, it all comes out of the same pocket.
I have to cut back. I cut back on a lot of stuff.
Those grocery bills driven up in large part by the bird flu. The cost of eggs soaring 15% in just a month.
I'm very concerned. I'm already seeing price differences in there, things like coffee and eggs, pet food even.
Today's snapshot of prices taken before the Trump administration's tariffs on China, steel, and aluminum imports took effect. Tom Maioli owns a car dealership in New Jersey. He says he supports the president, but told our Elizabeth Schulze tariffs mean higher prices.
If those tariffs go up,
yes,
what does that mean for you as a business?
Well, listen, at the end of the day, we have to pass that along to the consumer. We have an overhead. We have to cover our expenses. We have employees, health insurance plans.
The president also calling on the Fed today to cut interest rates, but that's unlikely to happen anytime soon. Fed Chair Powell telling Congress today he's not in a hurry to do that, as cutting interest rates can actually drive prices higher. Today's report reinforcing just what a challenge it will be, David, to get inflation back to normal. David?
Rebecca Jarvis right here in New York. Rebecca, thank you. Tonight, the Senate confirming one of President Trump's most controversial nominees, Tulsi Gabbard, has now been sworn in tonight as Director of National Intelligence. And tonight, news that RFK Jr. has now crossed a major hurdle, too, on the eve of his confirmation vote. Rachel Scott up on the Hill again tonight.
Tonight, the Senate voting to confirm one of President Trump's most controversial nominees, former Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard, as the new Director of National Intelligence, America's top spy.
Yeas are 52, nays are 48. Nomination is confirmed.
All Democrats voting against Gabbard, and there was one Republican holdout, Senator Mitch McConnell, the former Republican leader. McConnell saying Gabbard's record makes her unworthy of the highest public trust, citing what he calls a history of alarming lapses in judgment, including her refusal to denounce Edward Snowden as a traitor. Snowden leaked sensitive government secrets and has been living in Russia. Gabbard also faced criticism for visiting former Syrian dictator Bashar al-Assad and accusations of appearing sympathetic to Russian President Vladimir Putin.
I, Tulsi Gabbard, do solemnly
But tonight, she was sworn in the Oval Office. This, as Trump's pick for Health Secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., moves a big step closer to his own confirmation.
Department of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. of California to be Secretary.
The Senate voting along party lines to advance his nomination to a full vote tomorrow.
And Robert F. Kennedy Jr. does appear to have the support he needs to be confirmed tomorrow. One Republican, Senator Bill Cassidy, who was also a doctor, was on the fence. He expressed some concern about the misinformation that Kennedy has pushed surrounding vaccines. But Cassidy is up for re-election next year. He has now said that he will, in fact, be supporting Kennedy, keenly aware of the pressure he could face, David.
Rachel Scott live up on the Hill for us. Thank you, Rachel. Late today, new Attorney General Pam Bondi revealing a new lawsuit against New York State and its Attorney General Letitia James. The Attorney General accusing New York of resisting federal efforts to enforce the nation's immigration laws. Now to a police case that made national headlines. Officials in Sangamon County, Illinois tonight have now finalized a $10 million settlement for the deadly police shooting of Sonya Massey, a black woman killed in her home last year. Body camera video shows a deputy opening fire in her kitchen while she was holding a pot of boiling water. Her family says she was having a mental health crisis. That deputy now behind bars after pleading not guilty to murder. When we come back here tonight, two major train derailments, and one of them 19 cars jumping the tracks. You'll see the images. Also ahead, why Cyndi Lauper, Mariah Carey, and Chubby Checker are all making news tonight. And the images this evening, the alarming scene, 20 children and adults suffering from carbon monoxide poisoning, some rushed to the hospital in a moment. Tonight in Kittery, Maine, about 20 people, most of them children, were sickened by a carbon monoxide leak at a daycare facility. Authorities say 7 patients were rushed to the hospital. There were 27 children and 10 adults at that daycare. Tonight, 2 train derailments. Crews in northern Ohio working to clean up damage after 19 train cars derailed. 2 cars were leaking, one carrying ethanol. No one was hurt. And in western Massachusetts, in Wendell, 15 cars off the tracks. No one hurt there, and no risk to the public tonight. When we come back here, what do Mariah Carey, Cyndi Lauper, and Chubby Checker all have in common tonight? To the index tonight, the nominations for this year's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time.
Not the first time Cyndi Lauper has been nominated. Time after time, True Colors. Of course, Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Mariah Carey, The Black Crowes, Joe Cocker, and Chubby Checker all nominated too. When we come back here tonight, the winner of the Westminster Dog Show. Right here.
ABC World News Tonight with David Muir, sponsored by Vivgard Hytrulo and Vivgard.
Finally tonight, top dog. His name is Monty the Magnificent, but tonight you can just call him the winner.
I choose the giant schnauzer.
Oh, Monty! He did it! 3 years and he finally wins Best in Show.
5-year-old Monty, a giant schnauzer from Ocean City, New Jersey, crowned the champion of the 149th Westminster Kennel Club Best in Show. And it was a victory a long time coming.
Puppy did the damn thing, and I'm so proud of him.
Monty and handler Katie Bernardin making it to the finals last year and the year before, but going home without the crown.
It's been a while since a working dog has won Best in Show.
But as they say, the third time's the charm.
Monty the Magnificent, your 2025 Best in Show, the giant schnauzer.
Making history, too, the first giant schnauzer to ever be crowned top dog, beating more than 2,500 dogs from all 50 states, more than 200 breeds.
As graceful as ever out there.
There was 9-year-old Bourbon the Whippet coming out of retirement, Mercedes the German Shepherd, and of course Comet the Shih Tzu, and just look at that hair. But this year it was Monty's turn, and his owner Katie always knew he could do it.
He always tries so hard, and I'm just proud of him.
And right here tonight,
Hey David, I'm Katie, and this is Monty.
Katie and Monty, they never gave up.
This has been an amazing experience, and I am so thankful, and it's always been a dream of mine to be the best in the show.
Monty the Magnificent, the giant schnauzer, the champion at last. Third time's a charm. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.